Hello and welcome to your 9th grade 21st Century Scholarship virtual meeting. So we know a lot of us cannot be with you in person. So what we did is we're coming to you virtually. So we will talk about your scholarship, the requirements, and then kind of what you have to do to earn them. All right, so again, welcome freshmen. My name is Rachel Meyer. I'm one of the outreach coordinators at the Indiana Commission for Higher Education. You might know us better as Learn More Indiana if your teachers have used the Learn More magazines or any of the videos from our office. So as a 21st Century Scholar, you are enrolled in either 7th or 8th grade. And then what we do is we help you with all of your requirements in high school in anticipation of going to college and then getting an awesome job. So what the scholarship actually pays for, it's kind of a big deal. If this scholarship lived in a house, it would have many, many leather-bound books. It pays 100% tuition at our Indiana 2- and 4-year public colleges. So that's places like Indiana University, Purdue University, Ball State, Indiana State, Vincennes, schools like that. If you want to go to a private college is somewhere like Butler, Notre Dame, University of Indianapolis, Rose-Hulman, schools like that, that are more small. They might be religious based, like Anderson or something like that. We would only be able to pay partial tuition there. So that would be around $8,000 to $8,500 per year, depending on the tuition cost. So it's like a discounted tuition at a private school. And then if you want to go to a proprietary college, those are for-profit schools. So their tuition is similar to a private school, but for your 21st Century Scholarship, we would only be able to provide you the money that a student going to Ivy Tech Community College would receive for the year. So that's usually around like $4,500 per year. So just keep that in mind as you're kind of going through high school, and you'll have a lot more information about the types of colleges or trade schools or different things to get you to the occupation that you are interested in. But this is kind of how your scholarship works with those. So again, we pay only toward the tuition. So that is the cost of your classes at college. And then we pay for your regularly assessed fees that every student on the campus pays for. So other than that, you're going to have to scrounge up a lot of extra money for things like textbooks, room and board, class fees, parking fees, anything like that. So this scholarship is worth 4 years of assistance. So you can either do 2 associate's degrees or 1 full bachelor's degree, however you want to break it up. It's just 4 years total of your scholarship that you can use. And then you have to use the scholarship within 1 year of graduating high school. So that's really, really important. You can take a gap year. That's a really popular question right now with our seniors. Some of them are a little bit nervous about starting on campus. But again, you can always do online classes that are full-time in college, or again, you can take a gap year. All right, so these booklets you will eventually become familiar with. You'll get 1 per year from your school. This is your 9th grade guidebook. It's bright orange, so hopefully you can always find it. So on the back of it, it has a pledge. It's your 21st Century Scholar pledge, what you promise to do all throughout high school. Essentially, we know it's a lot of words on that page, right? But essentially, it's just 4 things. So we want you to be a good citizen, so you can't be getting in trouble for drugs and alcohol, all that kind of stuff. Just know that this scholarship is a huge opportunity. We're the only state in the whole country that has this specific program that is as flexible as it is. So definitely you want to have this option as you're going into college. So that was the first thing. Second thing is you have to have a cumulative 2.5 GPA or above by the time you finish high school. So we don't look at every single year's grade. So if you get a D, don't freak out. You just have to have a cumulative grade point average of 2.5 or above when you graduate. The third thing is we want you to have a Core 40 high school diploma or one of the honors diploma types. So you'll talk with your school counselor a lot about that as you're picking your classes, all of that good stuff. So you'll learn more about that as this 9th grade year progresses. And then the last thing is we have you do 12 activities over the course of 4 years of high school, and it's called your Scholar Track or Scholar Success Program. And again, we'll kind of go into what that is in this video for you. All right, so this is what our Scholar Track page looks like. So as a freshman, most of you probably do not have an account created yet. So if you have not already done that, we will have a video coming out for you that shows you how to register for an account and get that all created. But we do have instructions in the booklets as well as on our website. You can always reach out to us as your outreach coordinators, talk to your school counselor. We can all help you get your Scholar Track account created. Once you have an account, eventually down the road, you'll log in just at the top there with your email address that you register, as well as a password that you will create. And you'll want to keep this written down because none of us in our office have access to your password. So just keep that in mind, write it down, keep it somewhere safe so you can always log in. All right. So here is your 12 activity grid, otherwise known as your Scholar Success Program. These are the activities you'll do. We're going to go in depth into your freshman year activities on this video so you understand them, you know kind of what's expected, and then once you've completed any of these activities, you can work ahead or just only do your activities for this year. But you'll always want to make sure once you complete an activity, you log into your Scholar Track account, click on that activity to complete it. All right, so your first activity is to create a graduation or 4-year plan. So this is something mandatory in the state of Indiana that your school counselor has to do with you sometime in 8th or 9th grade. Again, some schools will do this at the end of 8th grade. Some schools will wait and do this at the end of your freshman year. But essentially what it does is it gives you a path to graduation or a plan that's very clear. So it's all your classes that you're going to take, any exams or tests that you have to take, any other steps to get you from where you are now as a freshman all the way through high school graduation. So keep that in mind. You'll probably revisit this after you create it with your counselor. You'll probably revisit it maybe once a year if your plans change. Just keep that in mind. Some schools use an online form for this. Other schools use like a huge, big blue piece of paper. So it just depends on which version your school does. So if you're not sure, number one, if you've done this, or number two, if you don't really remember doing it, go ahead and ask your school counselor for if you've done it and then when you guys did it. And then if you actually used the paper version of the graduation plan or if you did an online grad plan. So that way you'll have all the answers you need to log this activity on your Scholar Track. All right, your second important one. We know you all are interesting people, okay? So don't tell me that you're not involved in anything, because I know you are. We want you to participate in either an extracurricular or a service activity. So what this means is an extracurricular activity is something you do at at school that's outside of your normal, just regular classes. So that can be sports, it could be something in music, it could be something in theater or art, it could be student government. I mean, there's just all kinds of stuff that your school offers, even if you're in a club. So some type of club at school, that would count as well. And again, you only have to pick one thing. So even if you're involved in a lot of stuff, for this Scholar Track activity, you just have to pick one. So if you're not involved in anything extracurricular, then you can see, well, am I involved in a service activity? So that could be a one-time thing, like a dance marathon fundraiser for a charity. It could be if a small group of you did a food drive for, a local place, or if you volunteer longer term, like at an animal shelter or a homeless shelter, something like that. That is awesome as well. It could even be something as simple as just an act of kindness. So if you wrote a couple people like a nice letter and sent it in the mail to them to help them feel better, if they were lonely, or if you have older neighbors, maybe you shoveled their snow for them, or maybe you raked their leaves, something like that. That can even count as just a nice service activity that you did for them. Other activities that we would accept for this would be being a member of like a church youth group, or if you have a community center where you kind of hang out and have programming, that would count as well. So lots and lots of things count for this. If you're not sure, definitely ask your counselor or your outreach coordinator. And then the last activity, this one is super easy, okay? It's a super short video. It's less than 10 minutes. And basically what it does is it helps your family better understand what it takes to pay for college. So how do you plan for this? How do you pay for it? Kind of what goes into it. And it also has a little bit of an introduction to the scholarship, kind of what we're going over here. So there are little questions about the video on your Scholar Track. So again, make sure you watch the video once or twice and then go ahead and answer the quiz questions on there. And then a bonus tip for helping you pay for your school is consider opening up like a bank account, savings account, or even better, you can get a tax-free College Choice 529 savings plan for your family. It can be transferred to a different sibling if your plans change. It's an awesome way to save money, and it accrues interest a little quicker, so you make a little bit more money than just with a savings account at your bank. So consider that. They're a great partner of ours, so we like working with them. So hopefully you check them out as well. And then to give you kind of an idea about the overall costs of attending college, and kind of what we can help you with our scholarship. So if this was a huge 100% pie, these are the categories that you want to plan for. So tuition and fees. So again, that's your classes and your mandatory fees from the school. That's about 38% of your overall cost. So like not even half. That's what we can help out with at a public Indiana college. So you got a lot of pie left that you got to find some cash money for. So if you're going to live on campus, look into scholarships that can be applied toward room and board or anything college related. Because room and board will be the most expensive thing. So that's where you're going to live. So that's where your bed is. And then where like eating food. So keep that in mind. That's your room and board. Books and supplies is about 6% of your overall cost of attendance. So if you've heard how expensive textbooks are, that's still only about 6% of your overall cost of attendance. So again, crucial to apply for those scholarships and grants. And then 15% of your overall cost of attendance is going to be transportation. So if you're having to drive or fly to your campus, or maybe drive around town, that kind of thing, that's about 15%. So keep that in mind when you're looking for scholarships. So this is your College Scholar Success Program. So that's right. Not only will you do this in high school, you'll do it in college too. These activities were designed just to keep in touch with you, number one, and then also to encourage you, actually make you do things that we have found to be really, really helpful to your college success as well as your future career success. So definitely take a look into this as a sneak peek, maybe sophomore or junior year. We wanted you to be aware that you will have your ScholarTrack account not only in high school, but all the way through college. And there's no videos in college, so we know you're gonna be busy. All the videos are before then. So it's an awesome program. Again, we can actually keep in touch with you a lot easier. So we're really excited that we now have a college program. All right, lastly, please, please, please keep in touch with us. Reach out if you have questions. If you're nervous about something or confused, definitely reach out. No question is stupid because you've never done this before, right? So if you haven't done anything before, how do you know? So reach out to us. Don't sit there and wrestle with it. If we don't have the answer for you, if it's something we just don't know, we will make sure that we find the right resource where you can get that information. And lastly, definitely follow us on social if you do that. I know you're a little bit young as a freshman. Maybe you have a parent or guardian, maybe a grandparent, aunt or uncle, someone like that, who can keep in touch with us. We will post really cool things, scholarships and grants that we find out about that you can apply for, deadlines for really important things, tips and tricks about all kinds of things for high school and college. So be our friend, okay? Email us, call us, text us. If you have ideas for something that would be really helpful for us to provide to you and your school, let us know. This video series was actually an idea from a student. So keep that in mind. We are open to helping you out with all of this crazy college and career stuff, right? And then on the other side of the screen, you'll see a lot of our contact information. So our Student Support Center has a toll-free number you can call, you can email us, and again, it has a list of where to find your outreach coordinators, all that good stuff. So if you're not sure who your outreach coordinator is, because again, this has been the year of COVID, so most of us have not been able to actually see you in person at your school or even at a community event hosted by someone else. So reach out to us. You can find your county wherever it's color-coded, and then find your outreach coordinator. Email us, text us, call us, and we can definitely help you out with all of these fun activities. So I hope this was helpful. Again, reach out if you have questions, and we look forward to serving you over the next 4 years. Thanks, freshmen.